And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Dominate Dominion number 102. My name is Fancy Wolf, and I will be one of your casters for this exciting finals match. And joining me today is my esteemed colleague.
My name is Retired Peoples. I am here with you in the finals, Game 2 of Dominate Dominion number 102.
That last game, though, was so hype. Down to the last 3 points. Those plays just being made left and right, back and forth throughout the entire game. Just so much action. That's what Dominion is all about. Bringing it down to those last few points, those last few clutch seconds where you can make those game-winning plays. And
it went down to the absolute wire last match, and we'll see what happens. These teams have been duking it out for a long, long time. Clueless generally getting the better end, as we saw just like last game.
Yeah, and there will be an Urgot ban this time, so we are
the
getting
Urgot
rid of that.
Was a real problem last game. Zounds normally can be, build all that armor, build all those defenses, and be really tanky, and nothing can normally focus him down. But because Vi and Urgot bring such significant armor pen, it was really a clash of the Season 3 versus Season 4 meta. We had bench warmers building all this defense and just trying to survive and outplay and kite around and do all these things. Whereas Season 4, Riot said, hey, we have all these pen changes, we want you to be aggressive. And that's what Clueless, and it won them that game.
Yeah, they had the pen, they got the aggression. Urgot had all that extra damage, just nuking down targets. In addition to Vi vault breakering everything and cutting their armor, it was just that extra pen was all they really needed to be able to take down all of that armor from Mundo.
We see Pantheon being the pickup for bench warmers first, and we see immediately the Vi and the Jarvan coming out for Clueless.
I don't know if bench warmers meant to give away Vi and Jarvan. That is a very scary combo to deal with. They are going to have some incredibly strong counter engage to deal with those two.
Now here we see benchwarmers really opting to take things away from Clueless. They're taking away IV+Annie, and they banned out his Zyra. And they're opting to get Leona, leaving the Maokai up, which they probably had expected Clueless to pick up in the first round of rotations, but they did not.
Yeah, so they will be taking that Leona. That'll probably be going to Zounds, because that is his number 1 champ to go to. And then, normally if Leona is banned, he will go for that Mundo.
So it's going to be really interesting to see what Clueless picks up to round out their comp.
They do have the heavy engage right now. They're going to need some AP. So there is going to be the Maokai. That'll stop a lot of the Annie burst, and it looks like we're going to see that Ziggs.
Right before I could get it to come out of my mouth, I was wondering if we were going to see Parkhurst or Hafe pull out Ziggs, because I would say Parkhurst is the better Ziggs player, but Hafe has been really wanting to play ranged APs lately, and he does have a Ziggs, although I do not think it is as good as a Parkhurst, but we will see who gets to play it today.
It is going to be an interesting match here. We are going to have some pretty strong team comps still. But in the past few weeks, every time I have seen the Jarvan-Vi combo on one team, it has just undoubtedly stomped the game. I guess we'll have to see if Clueless can keep that tradition going and possibly just finish this one out 2-0 really fast. Of course, we do want to see a third game.
Notably, when Jarvan and Vi first came up, was back in the PEX days. That was a combo that was really came out as soon as Vi came out, and we see now the thing that really came out was Blueberry would play Leona, and Leona would absolutely destroy the double bruiser combo because the rest of the team would just sit far enough in the back line, or they would have burst damage. Like Pantheon, Leona, and Annie was the counter to Vi and Jarvan. However, the very important thing to note is nobody really ever got Vi, Jarvan, and Maokai on the same team.
This is also true.
Bans never really come down with you getting those 3 champions. With the Maokai being able to reduce the burst damage coming out from the opposing team, with the Leona ult and the Pantheon, it might not be enough damage in order to burst down those two bruisers. And if it's not, those bruisers are going to destroy them in a sustained damage fight, especially with Ziggs in the back.
Yeah, it'll be very, very scary and very difficult to deal with. But it seems Wolfer is going to be picking Syndra into the possibly Trundle or possibly Jax. I think Sam is just going to go with his Jax for safety because that is what he absolutely destroyed on last time. And it is going to be, let's see, probably Mike. Buddha is going to be playing... yeah, Buddha does like his bruiser, so he's going to be on the Pantheon. Zounds actually plays quite a bit of Trundle in Summoner's Rift and Tree Line, so he knows the champion very well.
Trundle is a very strong champion. He steals an incredible amount of stats from whatever he decides to do. So he's also very, very good at fighting melee. The issue they're going to have is the early game with Trundle. The early game with Trundle is not particularly that great. He's only single target, and really I think the deciding factor in the first windmill fight is going to be how much damage Hafe does and how much poke Hafe and Blueberry can get out on their APs before the fight actually begins, as the blue team does not have any poke whatsoever. They're a full, absolute hard engage comp like when they first arrived in Dominion.
They are full on 100%. We're going balls to the wall, and we are going to fight, and we're not going to sit here and poke and dance. We're just going in. So hopefully that pays off. I mean, Ziggs is still really strong in the event that a poke war doesn't happen, and then you do have the double bruisers, which they would rather just sit there and duke it out than have the poke war anyway. So it's a really strong team coming out from Clueless here, and we will see what they end up doing with it. The summoner blockers are down, so you guys can see their summoner spells here. And it looks like we are going to be having a flash on Half-Hearted, actually, and a flash on Movement, probably for those flash tibbers.
Movement opting to take the flash, unlike Blueberry, who runs movement speed points and just absolutely ran up to Matt Sapporo last game and just buried him all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Movement opting to run Magic Pin and Scaling Armor and Scaling Magic Resist, so he's really playing for the late game and not playing for the early or the mid game.
Yeah, it does matter, those rune setups. On if you're running Scaling, you know, you're always trying to go for that later game. If you go for the flat, then you're trying to get that good early game pressure and try to shut down the game within a few minutes and put it into your favor. But you got to be really careful about that, because comebacks are always possible on Dominion if you slip up or play sloppily.
Now we are going to see Wolfer playing Syndra. Well, this has been a real exhibition for Wolfer. He's played a lot of different champions. He's played Lulu, he's played Pantheon, played Skarner, he played Rammus, and now he's playing Syndra. He's going to be playing 5 unique champions in the bot lane for this DD number 102, and I'm very proud of him because he has played all of them well.
Yeah, you know, he has his set few champions like the Fizz, you know, the stuff that gets target banned against him that he plays incredibly well already, but when he's branching out and bringing these new champions to the tournament and still doing really well with them, it's very impressive.
You know, a lot of people who have been previous bottom laners, such as Confitarius and myself and Sauron, we always yelled at Wolfer saying, you know, you need to finally learn bot lane matchups, you know. You need to learn this. You need to get all these champions and learn counter picks, and people like Carnival even. You know, and it's nice to see him finally like adapting that play and using it in a tournament setting and it being effective.
Yeah, let's see how it does against Sam's Jax, though. You know, this is kind of like a kryptonite matchup for him.
I mean, but he had enough of an impact last game for his team to win, even though they just barely edged it out. Now,
he did.
It's very important to note that the Syndra pick against Jax is effective, but I really do think it was a terrible pick this game, specifically because you do not want to pick Syndra into a lane because she is very when she can be ganked. And when the other team has Pantheon, when the other team has Annie, when the other team has Leona, you can just be continuously run over in that bottom lane, and there's not much you can do to stop it. You will trade stuns with an Annie, and Annie has Molten Shield, so your burst generally doesn't kill her. Leona can just throw down her Solar Flare over the top, and then you're stunned or you're slowed, and Jax can just walk up and kill you. And Pantheon just man drops on top of you, and during the duration of the stun from Pantheon and the stun from Jax, you're just going to die. So there's not much counterplay that he can have in the bottom lane.
Yeah, the other important thing to note is, I don't know if it's been fixed yet, but there is a Jax bug where if he Qs onto you and you displace him with like Jace E or a Syndra stun, the Q will actually hit you twice. It's a very not, noticeable bug unless you play Jax a lot or if you play against him a lot, but I don't know if that is still an active bug. But that really kind of limits on what you can pick against him, and you have to be careful about that, not to kind of screw yourself over with it.
Jax Q hitting twice does an incredible amount of damage. You would be quite surprised.
It hits very, very hard. You'll see it and you'll just be like, oh, well, that just was painful.
And I mean, for Jax having bugs that benefit him, Syndra has a lot of bugs that don't benefit her. Syndra is a champion like Cassiopeia, who sometimes things just don't work. Sometimes you'll try to knock a ball back to get a stun, and the ball won't move.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things that can just go wrong and flame riot.
All right.
And also someone said, Syndra does kill Annie in one combo. Syndra does kill Annie in one combo if she can get one combo. If she's counter-striked into an Annie stun, she's not going to get one combo. She's only going to get a raw R, and a raw R is not going to be enough to finish that Annie off. As we do see a pause.
There is a pause coming through. So I will actually throw up the overlay here, so we can wait for that.
We just have Zound saying Saki has no word on what he's doing or when he's going to be back. If you might want to throw up music and just come back in whenever the pause is finished.
Yep, I already have. But yeah, concerning the Jax bug, it's where if he hits you and you knock him back at a certain point in time, the Q will hit you twice. You can cancel it if he just starts the animation at the very beginning and you hit him before he gets to you. But if he gets to a certain point and you knock him back, the Q will actually hit you twice. It is a very frustrating bug. I've played Jax vs Jace quite a bit and get double Q'd a lot when you E him away. But looking at items, everything seems to be pretty standard. Leona going a pretty decent tank start. But we are waiting on a pause. Throw a text up here.
And the pause is we are finally coming back into the game.
We are.
We are?
We are.
The champion.
No time for losers?
What time for losers?
Or I guess no time for bench warmers?
Clueless coming out with all Prospectors items. We have Matt's Portal being the only one without Prospectors item running Doran Shield and Kindle Gem. Clueless really trying to win the early game. It's something that they have notoriously been very, very bad at doing, and we see one more pause.
Another pause coming through. Sam is disconnecting from the game.
And apparently there is going to be a remake.
Oh, looks like everyone is quitting out. Well then. Sorry about that, guys. Looks like we have to remake the room. So they're just going to ban some champions real fast. They're going to go through their picks. That's why there's no summoner blockers. Everyone is taking the same exact stuff. And everyone's just going to be picking their champions.
Now, who do you think had the edge, Fancy, in this game? From picks and bans.
It's very hard to say. I have seen the IV+Vi do so much work in previous games, it's really hard for me not to side with that. I've been on the receiving end, and I've been on the giving end for that combo, and it's just so powerful.
They have incredible initiate. They will shred all of your armor, and they can absolutely train a target until it dies. But the question is, will they be able to survive the initiation from Leona?
Yeah, they need to be able to survive that initial burst. They need to be able to survive through the Annie and through the Pantheon damage. If they can do that, I think they can very easily win it. It's just a matter of not being bunched, not getting grouped, watching out for the AoE.
But they also have to still build enough damage to be able to kill their targets. They can't just build bulk. They have to find that perfect amount of items they need in order to survive and win.
Yeah, they got to get that sweet spot. And if they can get that, then it will be very, very easy for them to finish this game off and win it 2-0. But we'll see what it comes down to.
Now, have you ever seen Zounds actually play his Trundle?
In DominateDominion, I don't think so. I can't say that I remember him playing Trundle in DD. I've seen him play it on SR. I've seen him play it in trees. I know he's done it in solo queue, but I don't think he's ever busted it out in a tournament before.
Now, when you've seen him play Trundle in these other game modes, what would you rate it out of 10?
I would say he's a great Trundle. Like, he knows what he's doing. He knows what to build. He knows when to fight. He is very well versed with the champion. So he is not, going to be goofing up or making silly pillar mistakes. He is a very, very good Trundle.
No, caster to caster, I'm going to hold you to that. That Zounds is going to be playing on point for the majority of this game.
Well, let's hope he does it, because if he doesn't, then I'm going to look like a fool.
No, I think we should have a friendly bet, We can throw $5 down. We'll see. If Zounds is on point, I'll give you $5. I'll pay for a nice skin, the next skin you want to come out. And, if he's not, then, you go come get me a skin.
You know what? Let's put Galaxy Rumble on the line.
Oh, God.
Can you bump this up? Can you take that bet?
I'll get you Galaxy Rumble, but I don't want Galaxy Rumble. I'm sadly not a fan of that skin. I thought they could have done better.
Oh, man. I mean, they have to be really careful with it because of copyright issues, but it still is a pretty damn good skin.
I feel like in a world where they could have just said, screw copyright, they could have made one of the best daggone skins that I have ever seen for League of Legends, but
yeah,
what they did, I just was not impressed.
Oh, man. Well, I guess I'll put a legendary skin on the line, but I'm pretty sure you have most of them. So
Galaxy Rumble's legendary? Really?
It will be a legendary skin, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, not as real status, just a legendary skin. Okay, I got the two confused for a second.
Yeah, I don't know that it'll be super epic, mega, or mythic, whatever they call those super skins. I mean like Battlecast Cho'Gath or Mecha Kha'Zix.
No, we can put that on the line. I'm fine with that,
All right. So Galaxy Rumble is on the line for the caster's bet that Zounds will have his Trundle be on point for the game. We will see what happens here.
The odds are stacked against him. He must make it to the late game, and he has to not get destroyed by a Vi and a Jarvan in a team fight. We'll see what he can do. They do have a 3-man front line versus a 3-man front line with Ziggs in the back of one and Annie in the back of the other.
It is going to be a very interesting matchup, especially this bot lane. It will come down to Wolfer versus Sam again, and, we've seen Sam's Jax. We just watched it last game. We've seen it every week. It is just such a driving force in that bot lane, and it's so difficult to deal with. As you can tell, Wolfer, dying multiple times against it, still struggling a little bit, because it's just such a powerful champ. Oops. And I think I'm breaking things on my computer right now.
Just the first thing that comes up on my screen is Movement's Challenger border in the absolute middle. We have skins galore in this game, as we have 5 skins versus 5 skins to show how even this matchup is between these teams.
All right, give me just a sec here. Hopefully my client decides to start working. No, my client has broke. So I need to reconnect to the game and I'll get back in there for you guys.
Oh, I do see some theory crafting going on in the chat about Syndra and Brand versus Jax, and I can actually tell you that Brand is a straight up counter pick to Jax in the bottom lane of Dominion. You know, there's not really anything a Jax can do. He just cues the Jax, and the Jax is always on fire because Brand's E is always up. And really what it comes down to is, can Jax trade, you know, Leaf Strike and maybe an auto and outtrade Brand and his EQ combo, and it really doesn't happen because the W comes off the end, and it's just a really sad matchup for Jax when played correctly.
Alright, hopefully my client decides to load in here for everyone.
Now, if anybody actually feels so strongly about Jax being able to fight Brand, or maybe fight Brand better than Syndra, you know, you can feel free to come to DominateDominion, and I'm sure there are a significant amount of bottom laners that will fight you in that matchup that hopefully can represent DD as a whole very, very well. There's not a lot of good bottom laners, but there are some good bottom laners that will definitely take you up on that.
Alright, well, I'm going to have to start closing some processes. So bear with me for just a second, stream. My stuff is refusing to boot into the game, so I need to restart client. We'll get into our game in just a second.
We do see relatively the same items coming out of body, except for Hafe opting against a P-Ring this time around. He is going to rush a Morello-Nomicon. He is starting Codex first with a Fairy Charm and a Mana Pot.
Very interesting starting build there. Alright. Reconnecting to the game now. We should be in there in just a sec.
Nothing has happened just quite yet. We see bombs and saplings being tossed everywhere to little effect as they only bounce upon Leona.
I think my client is refusing to load this game.
Oh boy, do you want to exit out and then spectate on me?
That's what I was trying to do. Quit. Let me try one more time here.
It is possible that I can ask them to pause the game and you could give me streaming rights, but I don't know how that would work.
If you have everything set up, we could possibly do it.
Not have everything set up, but I could, like, screen region in under about 2 minutes. We do see the fight taking place as it is going relatively even. Hafe-Hearted is going to have to take out 3 members on low HP from Benchwarmers, but it is just not happening. It's revives or pop.
Okay, I am getting into the game now. Unfortunately, stuff was being a little silly there for us. So, my apologies, stream. The client was being a little pissy with me and not wanting to boot me into the game. So, we are getting in there now.
Well, currently, Clueless did win the initial top fight. And by Clueless, I mean Benchwarmers. Clueless got the back end, and it looks like they will be able to take it off of their revives.
Alright, and we are getting loaded in here. As soon as Booterice and Sam actually load.
So far, Zounds did land a very good pillar. However, he greeted for a kill on Hafe-Hearted, and he did end up going down to both Vi and Jarvan coming across the wall. But all in all, Benchwarmers are going to come out ahead with 3 kills going on to Parkhurst for Clueless, and the kill spread being very, very even for Benchwarmers.
Oh man, stream, you enjoying the radio cast? It's great.
I could put on my true radio caster voice, but I don't think the stream is prepared.
And welcome to Dominate Dominion. As we can see here, you see Sam, he's sitting in the bot lane, getting ready, and
Sam sitting in the bot lane, getting ready for Pantheon to come down on top of Wolfer's head. Wolfer is going to go down immediately as Sam and Pantheon both trade damage on the Bibapop cowering under his turret. However, the wave for bench warmers is going to cap the bottom lane, giving them a 4 cap. Meanwhile, at the top point, Zounds has ulted the tree, and he is trying his very best, but his entire team is very, very low, and there is a full health Yordle behind that tree, chucking many, many bombs at his team.
Okay, well, apparently spectator mode is not wanting to work very well. We are getting pauses, and then after the pause, everything will immediately jump 5 feet into the future. So, yeah.
I need everybody in the chat to raise their hands. Riot, please. We need many riot, please, in the chat.
Many riot, please, in the chat. Okay, I think we're good. I think we're good.
Are we good?
Never mind. Pantheon just stopped channeling even though he... Okay, he went back.
Well, we do see Bibapop alting movement with Assault and a Battery. Half-Hearted being caught around the side by Mad Supporto on Leona. He's still trying to do damage over top, but he looks like he is going to go down unless Booberry manages to save his life. His entire team peeling back to save him, and Mad Supporto is going to go down, but he gets the Ziggs with the last scene of Flame. His entire team turning away from the Leona at the last second.
So yeah, we're watching a like almost picture slideshow. Like everyone's running around, and then everyone decides to just stop, you know, chillax, take a break. Then Leona just exploded. She just, you know, self-combusted. So yeah.
What do you want to do, Sir Fancy Wolf?
We can manage with this. It's not happening as frequently as before. Hopefully, it settles itself throughout the match here. It should be good, but if for any reason I cannot keep up with you in casting because there's nothing for me to watch, then that's what's going to happen.
Well, those are the unfortunate circumstances, folks, as we see Bibapop and Booterice duking out in the bottom lane, but Pantheon with his block is going to get the best of that. However, Wolfer forgetting to throw his ball before using his Scatter the Weak, so he does not get a stun on Booterice. Sam trying to get the minions onto the point for the cap, but a Parker's walking into the minions to stop them, going to give his life to try to save Quest. However, the minions are still going to make it to the turret and get it capped, as everybody should be retreating out of the bottom lane for Benchwarmers.
And that quest is going to go to Benchwarmers. Very nicely done. Good positioning, good rotation, and being able to keep stuff locked down here. And it looks like Zounds with an amazing back cap on the mid. Told you he got them trundles. He's got it.
Zounds doing the MMKH, casually being the most annoying person on the map as Bibapop comes in for the Vault Breaker. It looks like he is going to go down. I do not see him getting out of this. However, he does ult and put the pillar! He is gone. Meanwhile, Half-Hearted getting tower dove, while Zounds kept all 3 remaining members of Clueless busy.
Oh, man.
Booterice going to jump immediately on the Bibapop, absolutely chucking his HP as the Timbers comes across the top, and that will be the end. This looks like this game is going to be a clean sweep for Benchwarmers so far.
It is going to look very, very one-sided here. I don't know if there is any scaling or late game that Clueless is going to be hoping for, because the more they scale, the more Benchwarmers will scale as well. You think about having... you know, the Trundle getting late game will be unkillable with the defenses the enemy team will be building. And then you have Leona becoming a super tank, Annie being able to blow stuff up immediately. But looks like they're going to be engaging down here on the bot lane. Movement is caught out in the between the Vi and Maokai will be blowing up, and it looks like Booterice is trying to get away from the Jarvan, but I don't know if he's going to be able to. Oh, the EQ misses from a Parkhurst.
Meanwhile, Zounds getting another neutral cap on that midpoint. And Booterice going to get the crits, but the sapling is going to take him down.
And that is a neutralized mid, very nicely done, keeping them in place.
Because the Clueless has been having a 2 cap or a 1 cap for the majority of this game, they're not going to be able to stall into late game as effectively as last time. They have lost half of their Nexus health by the 8-minute 50-second marker of this game.
Yeah, that is very, very, very low for the time limit that is in the game right now. And here comes the Trundle and Leona trying to hold this point. 2v4. The ultimate is up on Trundle, but the Ignite hit him, so he is losing a lot of HP. He does use the pillar to keep them off the point, and oh, movement, you might be in a dangerous spot.
Benchwarmers was just stalling for the Pantheon with the man drop, and he is going to take down Ziggs. He should be able to get Wolfer. Hipeoples is now on the turret, and they turned on the Blueberry, so this looks like Benchwarmers will clean up very easily, as Sam somehow handily losing a lot of health to a Parker's.
That was quite the play up there. Buddha Rice falling in from the sky, cleaning stuff up. Trundle sticking around to finish off the tree. Man, oh man. I think we're going to see a game 3.
It looks like Wolfer has opted for a straight-up lane start with a Parker. It's the first time we've seen him back in the bottom lane in competitive play for months. And he is doing his best to trade with Sam, who has also opted for Magic Resist. So it's not the worst matchup in the world.
Oh, the Ziggs bomb coming down, but does completely miss out there, so that is going to be a strong ultimate down and out. And Vi is going to be able to finish off that Jax, but does not want to fight that Pantheon.
Buddha Rice been in this bottom lane to protect Sam for a substantial amount of time. Buddha Rice is going to manage to pick up the return kill, so just everybody trading all across the map, 2 for 2 in the bot lane, but 1 for none over by the midpoint. Benchwarmers is pressing Clueless into their very own base.
Yeah, this map pressure is unreal right now. The Leona and Trundle are so big in the front. They're just sitting there taking all this damage and just not getting pushed back at all.
Anytime Bibba pop it, oh, the bear has come in, but the damage from the Syndra is there to clean up for Clueless. They're just not going to be enough.
Yeah, they are going to be able to take them down. That is a 19-second respawn timer. No revives are up yet for them. And Pantheon is the only one up, so he is going to run to that bottom lane to try and get a gank. I think Parkhurst has his 6th sense ticking, so he's on his way down to this bot lane as well. But Blueberry is going to go down from that.
Buddha Rice has been doing his signature, I am always in the bottom lane. It is a 2v1, not a 1v1, and he, whenever it was a 2v2, has been coming out ahead because Pantheon is stronger than Vi because of his Aegis always blocking that one auto attack.
Yeah, that auto attack block on Vi is so strong, not to mention he can get it 2 to 3 times if he's a really good Pantheon player. And
Sam opting to just go fight the 1v2, knowing Buddha always has his back with the man drop coming down. Is going to pick up a Parker's. Blueberry is going to come in with, and the exhausts are on both people. Parker's with the revive is going to manage to finally take Buddha down.
But it looks like Benchwarmers did manage to clean up the top fight pretty heftily, and they're looking for position on the map before they try and go grab that windmill. They don't want to run into a bad situation there. Trundle coming in, nice pillar blocking off Annie, keeping her safe from the rest. He's going to sit there and eat a bunch of punishment, and barely surviving there.
We see Matsupoto on the tail end of the fight. Gonna use Zenith Blade to go all the way to Bebepop, who's collapse close into the middle. Buddha Rice finally arriving. Everybody is low, but Wolfer Syndra has not been impressive. We saw Zounds in an earlier engagement absolutely dodge 5 consecutive spells and managed to auto-attack Syndra twice. It has been an amazing display of being able to avoid skill shots from Zounds as to whiff them from Wolfer. And Buddha Rice is still somehow alive, movement coming with the stun, but Assault and Battery being used to kill the 200 health Pantheon. Zounds now in quite a predicament. But we see Matsupoto, who is going to get Mega Inferno Bomb. He's gonna get the neutral on top lane and leave as Sam finally kills Parkhurst in the bottom lane.
Yeah, he's trying to get out of there. Sam getting down Parkhurst, good to be able to cap that point, no problem. And Zound's able to recap mid because of the distraction from Leona. They are going to come up here and try to finish off these guys and take this top point back.
We see Maokai throwing down his ultimate, finally taking it off, trying to zone them out. Just a note, Sam is 2,000 gold up upon everybody in the game, so nobody on Clueless can only win them. Man drop is coming down, going behind Half-Hearted. Satchel Charge was thrown out to try to knock away Buddha Rice. It is going to get Hafe a significant portion away, but I don't know if he's going to get away Zounds and movement close in and finish him off. Matsupoto somehow alive, but Bebepop is going to manage to pick up the kill, but with excessive force through one of the melees. 100 points left for Clueless. The Syndra pick not panning out for them at all in the bottom lane. The Pantheon just coming down there, absolutely wrecking face. But we see Sam, he's about to get nerded.
He is about to get nerded, and there is all of the Clueless force ready to beat him up, but a missed stun from the Syndra. Thankfully, BB-Pop had that Q on Vi to back it up.
Hipeoples deciding that he wants to play with Zounds. I'm surprised the rest of Zounds' team has not collapsed with him being able to put a pillar behind Hafe and Hafe not being able to move. Zounds not scared at all. Hafe once again touching out an offensive satchel charge, which might be the death of him. Wow! Throwing the Mega Inferno Bomb at movement. I don't know how he had vision of him. Meanwhile, in the bottom lane, Matsupoto is going to get absolutely destroyed by 3 members of Clueless.
Yeah, they're going to try to push on the spot lane. They got a really nice wave, but Z-Mike or Matsuportal did have revive, and Sam is back down there.
Zounds blowing all on the tree to get all of his health back. He is going to find 2 members of Clueless, some of the highest damage members. The stun finally landing for Wolfer, and movement is just fleeing with his life. 58 seconds left on the board for Clueless. Matsupoto and BB-Pop look at each other and then just walk off in their different directions in the jungle.
And it looks like Sam is going to be diving on that bot lane tower, able to very easily kill Jarvan.
Meanwhile, Matsuportal off point, but he is a Leona with incredible defenses. He is also going to get Syndra ulted movement with a defensive stun and a defensive pillar being thrown out. Buddha Rice looks like he is going to pick up the Maokai. Uber going in trying to pick off movement. BB-Pop is going to get exhausted. Another exhaust being thrown on Buddha. Matsuportal with the slow from the solar flare is going to get the shutdown on BB-Pop, and Sam still has this bottom point neutral. So this looks like it's going to be the end of the game. Clueless looks like they're going to lose in around 16 minutes and 30 seconds into this game.
Yep, it looks like we are going to be getting into Game 3, because that is going to bring our score to 1-1. We just went from a completely, down to the wire 3-0 game, and because of the drafting that occurred this match, it just went in complete opposite direction. Benchwarmers just decimated the entire match.
Oh, is Sam gonna kill Hafe in the base? No, he is not. But this is the result of a really good pick and ban strategy, I want to say. I don't know if it was necessarily planned by Benchwarmers. But they got the Pantheon, and the Pantheon really has been the deciding factor in both of these games.
He has been.
They took the Trundle from Wolfer so he wouldn't be able to play something very key in the bottom lane against the Jax. Wolfer then responded by picking Syndra into Pantheon, which is because he does it. He's slowly learning the counterpick matchups in bottom lane. He didn't understand that you can't pick Syndra into a lane where can be ganked, and he was absolutely zoned in his base 1v1 by that Jax, and it was quite an unfortunate circumstances for Clueless in that game.
Yeah, and looking at the damage dealt, again, at the top of the charts, it is that Pantheon. Followed by second place, it is going to be the Vi and Ziggs. I really feel like the Ziggs didn't come as strong as it could have. I felt like it could have been doing a little bit more.
There were a lot, and I mean a lot, of missed skill shots by the mage players of Clueless. Like, a lot of Syndra spells were missed, a lot of Ziggs spells were missed, and those are the only 2 skill shot reliant champions upon their team. They really have to land their things to do damage, and if they don't land, then you lose. And when they don't land as hard as they did this game, you lose in 18 minutes.
Yeah, that's what happens. Well, we've got our invite into the next game here. We're going to run our last commercial break here, and we will be getting into the final match of Dominate Dominion number 102.